Good afternoon and morning, everyone. Welcome to our RSI Weekly COVID webinar. My name is Julia Devine, and I lead the Customer Success North America team here. I'm coming to you from sunny Colorado today. Hope everyone's doing well and staying safe in this crazy quarantine environment. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back again. And if this is your first time, I just want to be sure everyone knows we will be here every Thursday while the quarantine is going on to give you insights and information about what RSI can do for you during this time. So we're working really hard to support our clients well and help you manage today and recover tomorrow. So come back any Thursday during the pandemic and we'll be here sharing information with you. So today we're going to take you on a journey through the Omnichannel. We're very excited about this webinar, and we've brought together some of the experts from RSI to go through this with you. We have Gordon Moran. He's in the UK, and he will be sharing his knowledge. He's spent many years managing Omnichannel and how this would come about, what would happen over time. He'll be sharing his knowledge from the global perspective with you. And then we have Mark Venable down in Bentonville, Arkansas. So he runs our Walmart and Target businesses. So he'll share what's going on in those markets, as well as John Habenreiser, who is in Chicago, and he leads our Walgreens team. So we're going to take this from a macro view and then narrowing it down to, what I'd call is your neighborhood, right? We all have Walmarts, Targets, and Walgreens nearby, so understanding what's going on with those retailers will help as well. So we'd like to make this as interactive session as we can. So since we can't all just be on the phone and leave the mics open, what we're going to do is use some of the tools in Zoom, and I'm going to have Lori share with you what we're going to do today so that we can stay connected. Go ahead, Lori.
Hello, everybody. I am Lori Nicholson, just on to let you know how we're running the meeting today. So if you have any questions, you can pop them into the question and answer box. We will be monitoring them as we go. However, we will keep some open and let the presenters answer the questions. If we're running short on time, we're also going to try to stay on the line after and answer any questions that we didn't get to. You can also raise your hand. We can unmute you. You can ask your question live. But we are also going to be doing 4 different polls to try to get feedback on kind of where we're going with each of these webinars and how things are changing in terms of the way that you're shopping. So be on the lookout for those.
Okay, thanks, Lori. So again, questions, comments, please let's do what we can to make this interactive so we can answer any questions you might have or commentary if you're seeing something different in the marketplace. And our goal today is that what you really get out of this is a better understanding of Omnichannel overall, but also how you can help manage your business more effectively based on this information. So we will be starting with the poll. Lori, do you want to start there?
Absolutely. So the first poll is, since the stay-at-home or lockdown orders have been in place, are you a first-time user of online shopping for essentials? Yes, no, or I still go to the store. Okay, so to share the results here, it looks like 20% is a yes, 39% is a no, and 41% still go out to the stores. Okay, so Gordon, you ready to launch into the webinar then?
I am ready. I can't seem to share my video, but it's okay. I'll just talk. So I'll say good afternoon, everybody. Obviously in the UK, good evening to some people in Europe, and good morning to others around the world. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all safe. Here's a picture of me. So I'm Gordon Moran. Over the next probably about 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you some insights. Laurie mentioned I worked in e-commerce quite a few years around Omnichannel, understand the area really well, and going to look at 2 things. We're going to look at, firstly, what was going on in the world before pre-COVID around e-com and Omnichannel, and then what's happened during it across different markets, and then share with you some implications. What do you think the implications could be for the future that we really need to think about? So, a bit about me. So, I've worked in CPG, FMCG for over about 23 years, and I've spent 16 years of my life working for Procter & Gamble, a very big player in CPG. And I then spent 5 years working at Kerry Foods, which is the world's largest manufacturer of processed food ingredients, and I joined RSI just under 2 years ago. I've led a number of teams over the past 10 to 12 years, and e-commerce has been a common thread throughout every role I've had. I've been fortunate that I was an Amazon team leader back about 11 years ago, so they were a lot smaller than they are now. And I then I started working for Cardo, who at the time were probably very well not very well known. Now across the world they supply multiple retailers in different countries their online technology. So their web designs, their web stores and fulfillment technology, they're absolutely huge. And these two businesses, their share prices are doing quite well at the moment. And then finally, I've been fortunate to present a number of industry events over the years, from building best-in-class online joint business plans to how to launch new product innovation online, and how to design the perfect shopper journey around stores. So I've got a wealth of experience in this area, and it's a pleasure to be here today to share with you some of my knowledge. One question I get asked quite a lot is, what's the difference between e-commerce and omnichannel? It comes up quite a bit. So let's truly understand this. So in terms of e-commerce, commercial transactions conducted electronically on the internet by mobile, tablet, desktop. And I'll share a few examples in a minute to bring it to life in terms of players within just pure e-commerce areas. And then omnichannel is about a multi-channel approach to sales that seeks to provide the customer with a seamless shopping experience, whether the customer is shopping online, from a desktop, a mobile, telephone, or in a bricks and mortar store. To bring this to life, think of the pure players, businesses without stores. So think of Amazon. Traditionally, I know they have a few bookstores around the world, not many, and a few Whole Foods, very tiny part of their business. Predominantly, they're a pure player. So they're purely just an e-commerce pure player. Ocado, UK online grocer, they don't have any stores. They're solely a pure player. Then you've got the likes of Walgreens, Walmart, Tesco, Boots. These are businesses that were traditionally brick and mortar stores, but now offer shoppers a number of different ways to shop. They're true omni-channel retailers. So to set the scene for the presentation, we're going to have a quick look into the macro insights and trends of the digital world. And this was before COVID-19, absorbing some of those trends that are at play. If we look at these, they've been accelerating changes in market dynamics. I think we can all relate to the retail landscape is fragmenting. Disruption has been at play for a number of years now. We look at the likes of obviously Uber and Uber Eats. You can get any meal you want now delivered to you via Uber. Who would have thought that 10 years ago? The likes of Deliveroo, they're global, online startup from about 4 or 5 years ago. They're present in multiple countries, delivering food, but now delivering groceries in some markets. Then you've got the likes of Walmart, massive investment to help serve shoppers however, whenever, whatever way they want to shop. And then there's been the introduction of the direct consumer players. So a lot of businesses starting up and selling direct to shoppers. So whether you're in the beauty market, whether you're in a grocery market, these are really bringing competition to the traditional retailers. And another common trait is speed and convenience is driving the shopper mission. So we think about it, we're in a mobile first world. And on top of this, consumer expectations is about, I want it now. So the under 1 hour delivery phenomenon, people are willing to pay extra to get what they want and with speed. We think about shopper experience. It is improving hugely, or it has to keep up. So if you think of technology businesses, they are leading the way here in helping shoppers and retailers that are embracing this. So you think of Domino's Pizzas, you think of Uber. We've become the blue dot culture. We expect that. We want to see everything. Lots of businesses are trying to keep up here. This is what, where we are now. And if you're a traditional bricks and mortar retailer, this is what you've got to compete with. Now, I've been in e-commerce for over 10 years, and I'll share a slide from about 5-6 years ago. And it's from Google. And they plotted a number of different industries, and they were trying to say, when will e-com really, really take off across a number of these industries? They said that they'll follow the S-curve. So not, air travel, media, they were quite early to adopt digital. But then you look at food, if you look back to 2015, food's a massive category around the world. It's relatively really small. And their predictions were that by 2025, over 50% of business would go through e-commerce. Now, where is it today? I was looking at some research this week. It's around global e-commerce is about 15%. And if you look at 20 years' time, it'll be 95%. Yeah, 20 years' time. Hopefully I'll be retired by then. But, this is only going one direction, especially now when we look at COVID-19 and you see earlier, 20% of people started online shopping. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But if we look at adoption of online, it does vary across the world. So I'm going to use the grocery theme here because it's a very big category. So what you can see here is the penetration or the participation of online across the world in terms of grocery. So what percentage of sales are going through by country online? So if you look at from the top, you've got Brazil, India, quite new entrants. Germany, only 1.5% of grocery being sold online. Versus you look further down, the UK, which has been a leader in one of the most developed markets in the world. They've had online grocery for 20 years at 7.2%. You then look at South Korea, small business, small country, big population. They've got nearly 1/5 of their sales going through online. However, if you look at value, I haven't got these plotted here, but the biggest players in terms of value are China, followed by America, and then by the UK. So even though they might have relatively small participation, if you look at the US, for example, it's got a significant value compared to other markets. And look, it will continue. This pre-COVID-19 is predicted to be the fastest growing channel, whatever region you look at. So if we look at North America, by 2023, grow by 152%. We look at Europe by 66%. And in Asia Pacific, 196%. Absolutely huge. And if there's one metric that I've used in my career and a lot of people that work in the e-commerce industry to influence other departments within CPG, it's the measurement around contribution to growth. Even if it's small, it is a massive contributor to overall growth in business. It's a key measure that anyone should be looking at when they're looking at how a business is growing, what different channels are contributing the biggest percentage of growth, and you'll find it will be online e-commerce. So why is this? Well, firstly, let's look at the drivers very quickly. Ease of shop. I think we all get it. You can shop via mobile. Everything's very personalised nowadays. Shoppers love it. Ease of delivery. Talked before. Wherever you are in the world, there's a number of different models. You can shop however, whenever, whatever way you want, and you've got speedy delivery. Greater choice. online shelves are virtual. Retailers can list multiple items, significantly more than traditional bricks and mortar. You think of Amazon, the A to Z stands for listing every single item in the world from A to Z. However, what are the drainers? Profitability. If you're a brick and mortar player, and even if you're a pure player, it's a very expensive business to play online. However, you've got no choice but to play in this area because that's where the market's going. That's where consumer and shopper demand is going. But one of the drainers, it's an important one, is lack of inspiration. When people shop online, especially for groceries, they get bored. Yeah, they get bored because they get into the zone of shopping by their favourites, same items every week. It's so easy that they don't get inspired. So, innovation, impulse items don't sell very well online, and shoppers do get bored of shopping online. Therefore, shops are not dead. They won't die. However, shoppers will bring online into their everyday way of purchasing, and they'll mix it up. A lot of shoppers. That's why they'll be more omnichannel. And then finally, shopper experience, ordering and fulfillment. If you place an online order and you don't get what you want and you get substituted, it is a major drainer. It can put people off online shopping. If we look at the current situation of COVID, there's plenty of that going on. So these are the drainers to watch out for. So talking about COVID, where are we now? We're all at home. We look around the world, nearly everybody is at home, and we're restricted to the amount of times we can probably go shopping each week, for our groceries. And if we think about what's happening, you look at shopping online, it takes about 3 to 5 shops to convert a shopper. So think about that. Everyone's at home. There's a lot of people starting to shop online. There's a significant amount of shoppers, I'll show you in a minute, started to shop online pre-COVID. Think about that. What are the implications for your businesses? Think about, are you ready? Because if we look at how to grow categories, and this is a traditional CPG model, you could use this for any business actually, but how do you grow? It's all about traffic times conversion, times basket size, times frequency. If we think about where we're at this moment, there'll be a lot of traffic on a lot of retailer sites. Because everyone's at home, everyone's attached to their mobiles, people are browsing, getting inspired. So think about that. So now I'm going to take you through what's going on across the world. So we're going to look at start of China. Obviously, the pandemic started there first, early January. What we're seeing out there is a major pure player, like a huge pure player out there. Since the pandemic, so you've got a chart on the left-hand side. You can see the spike. So in January, if you look to the right, in January, sales were up 60% online. Yeah, so this is with a pure player. By February, they're nearly 3 times, absolutely huge. And looking at Mintel, they're a market intelligence agency. I was reading a report from China, and they said online was already, massive in China, but this pandemic has helped it become a norm. People actually shop daily for food. Pre-COVID, it was they're a shop daily market. However, what online has helped as people have started to bulk buy on a regular basis, and they predict that will be a continued trait. So buying their big ambient items that will become part of an online shop, and therefore they'll continue to shop probably fresh food in stores. But you think of the ambient, the non-food, that could become like a bi-weekly, monthly big online shops. That's something to watch out for. In Europe, online has accelerated since lockdown. So we've got 3 countries here. So we've got the yellow line is Italy. You've got the 2 blue lines, light blue and slightly dark blue is France, and then you've got the red is Spain. And since lockdowns happened, online's really spiked. So for Italy, 142% up. We look at France, they've had a traditional drive model for a number of years. That's up 74%. So we talk drive, think of click and collect. And then you've got an increase of 93% in home delivery. Spain was quite a small percentage of online participation there. They've even seen a 55% increase. And one thing to bear in mind here is traditionally online shopping. A lot of older people don't shop online, but since this pandemic, that has been, a way of shopping. They found, it's been convenience. Think about how many shoppers or people purchasing for their parents, an online shop. Think about this and the implications that this habit could cause post this pandemic. If we look at the UK, so that's my home market, there's been significant growth here. There's 1.2 million of additional orders online in March. 20%, 1 in 5 people ordered groceries online. However, it created mass challenges. A lot of the websites broke, so that people could not order. Not a great shopping experience. Could have put off a lot of people shopping online. However, they've all been reacting with speed and looking at opening up more slots, so more capacity. So again, what impact will that have post this event? How many more shoppers will start to make online part of the everyday habit? And then in the US, even bigger, 31% of US households used online in March to purchase groceries. Yeah, it led to an astonishing 193% surge in volume. Grocery delivery and pickup, most popular models, not surprising across the world, click and collect and home delivery are the most popular fulfillment models. And 30% of new online grocery shoppers have said they're likely to convert. So when we look at accelerating the peak in online, when's the tipping point? It could be now. So who's going to win from this? Well, pure players, Amazons, they will continue to win. Yeah, they will continue to win. They continue to operate. They don't have stores. They don't have restrictions on stores. They are soulless online players. A lot of people would have switched during this time. And Amazon have been trying to break food for a long time, and that helps drive the basket. And this is an opportunity I see with them. They'll start getting some traction. Omnichannel, the retailers that have omnichannel capabilities in terms of pickup, home delivery, they will continue to win from this. Direct-to-consumer models, whatever market, whether it's in food, whether it's in beauty, direct-to-consumer will benefit from this. And finally, third-party on-demand fulfillment operators, that these are only going to get bigger and bigger. I talked before about a lot of players, a lot of businesses that find online unprofitable. A lot of it's to do with delivery. So by employing third-party firms, they can make more money from the operation. So it makes them more profitable. So I see a massive spike in these models. So in terms of implications for the future, this is the final slide from me. What do I see happening? Well, shopper behaviour. There will be an acceleration of online into the everyday mindset. You think of older people, younger people, people that have tried. There's been a lot of new shoppers to online pre-lockdown. So that will change. And think about the convenience of online. If people tried it and they liked it, it will accelerate. So we see I see that trend absolutely exploding. Retailer investment. Retailers already seeing that in terms of it's proven omni-channel shoppers that shop in store and shop online are more profitable than just store shoppers alone. This pandemic has obviously seen a massive surge in online, and a lot of retailers will accelerate their investment in turning their stores, giving more space over to online fulfillment, for click and collect, for home delivery, for doing the picks in a little warehouse as part of the store versus going around the store and having pickers. And then finally, we think about integrated mindset. We've got to challenge ourselves. Are we ready? Are we ready as CPGs across the world? Have we got the tools, the capability to truly understand what's happening and how we're going to play, how are we going to play and how we're going to win in this area? Thanks for listening. that's the end of the presentation from me. If there's any questions, ready.
That is a perfect segue into our next poll. And that is, how ready was your business for the COVID-19 surge in online shopping? Were you ready? Were you somewhere in the middle, or not ready? And while this is answering, if you can think of any questions that you have for Gordon, feel free to put them into the question and answer box, or again, you can raise your hand and you can ask the question live.
And I also wanted to let everybody know, while you're probably taking those steps, we do plan to have this presentation available. So this deck is something that we'll give you a link to. So if you wanted to use some of the content, that is fine.
Okay, I'll just give one more second to vote and then we can end the polling. Okay, so it looks like 72% of people or companies were somewhere in the middle. Perfect.
And Lori, do you see any questions?
Nope, no questions came in.
Okay. Mark, ready to move on to your section, talking about Walmart and Target?
I am. So, welcome everybody. Let me turn my video on here. We'll do a quick intro. Or I can't turn my video on apparently, so you're gonna hear me talk. Before we get into talking about mass retailer and what strategy is going on at Walmart and Target, quick background on myself. My name is Mark Venable. I'm the retail account team lead for Walmart and Target. I live in Bentonville, Arkansas. I've been in the CPG world a little bit over 15 years prior to my experience at RSI. I've held leadership roles in sales, supply chain, and category positions across multiple large companies, including Tyson Foods and Shark Ninja. Dealt with groceries across, or categories across the board in grocery, toys, sporting goods, health and beauty, and home. I have 2 Walmart Supplier of the Year awards back-to-back in 2010 and 2011, and I've been with RSI since 2016 in this role.
Mark, can you pause for a second?
Yes.
Okay, we did get a question back to Gordon. Gordon, do you see the question?
Yes, I do. So with the recent quite drastic increase in e-com sales, do you see these orders start to level off at some point? Yes, I do. I think in terms of the goods, in terms of the consumption, I think there will be a leveling off. But we're seeing it in a lot of our data already. There will be a leveling off. I do see, as I say, the conversion of people starting to use online as part of their everyday habit. That will increase. The only thing holding it back is capacity at the retailers at the moment. But that will be significantly, there'll be significantly more people shopping online post-COVID versus pre. Does that answer your question?
Okay, Mark, you can go ahead. Thank you.
All right. So as I move forward, what I want to really talk about are some of the changes that have happened recently in the mass retailer markets and things that corporate is dictating down to the store level, as well as how that's going to impact the shopper experience and how this is going to help change the landscape of the market going forward. So first, let's talk about restrictions and capacity. Walmart and Target both last Friday issued corporate statements saying that they're going to start restricting access to their stores. Walmart restricting access to one entrance exit, usually the grocery section, and they're even having an employee stand out there and count people. They're allowing only 5 people per 1,000 square feet of the store. Walmart's on average, or supercenters, are about 179,000 square feet, so maximum of 900 people in a store at a time. One in, one out methodology. So if 3 people come out, 3 get to go in. And they are, like I said, they're counting everybody that's going in, and they're keeping track of that. And that's somebody's sole responsibility right now, is to stand at the door. And for the first time in a long time, they've reduced their hours from 24/7 at Walmart to 7 to 8:30, and Target is closing at 9. So this is all intended to help keep people safe and to encourage the social distancing piece. They've changed the flow of their store. Everything is now going one direction. So when you go in the store, you have to follow the path. In some states, depending on what the government has dictated for that state, their non-essential departments may be blocked off. So you can't even go to clothing or to toys or to sporting goods or anything like that. You're only allowed to follow the path that goes through what they have considered essential categories, such as health, grocery, and baby. And they're even marking the social distancing off on the floor. If you look at the picture on the right, they've got arrows and they've got tape on the ground 6 feet apart. Sanitizing the registers and the carts and everything else is becoming a key, an important piece of their process. They're a little bit behind the times versus some other retailers, but Walmart and Target have implemented the plexiglass shields. Some grocers have had them for a little over a month or two now. They're wiping down conveyor belts, shopping carts, keypads in between every single customer and transaction that happens. In the store and DC, employees are wearing gloves and masks. That's now mandatory at Target. So every employee you will see at the store, including the ones you won't see at the distribution centers, are all taking precautions to limit the touch of the product before it gets to your hands. So what does that mean? So all of that means the restrictions of the store, and what Gordon alluded to earlier, the grocery pickup is exploding, not just at Walmart, but across all retailers. Quick statistics for you. Walmart app downloads were up 218%, and shipped app downloads for Target were up 168% from 3/13 to 3/19 of this year. So on Friday the 13th, when the mass hysteria really started, in that first week after, people started downloading the apps they hadn't done before. 1/3 of all shoppers indicated they used online pickup in the last week, and 41% of those are first-time users. What all this means is that grocery pickup slots are now hard to come by. In the Bentonville market, we're a pretty mature market when it comes to grocery pickup because obviously when you're the home of Walmart, you get things before a lot of other people do. And we've had grocery pickup here for a little over 5 years or so, maybe a little longer than that where it's really been used. And you never had a problem getting grocery pickup slots when you were scheduling your online grocery pickup. Now it's like a fight. It's really funny. People stay up till 12:01 a.m. and try to get the slots for, like tonight would be for Saturday. And you just can't find them. They're hard to find. And all that starts coming into play as we see the changes happen. You start feeling it as a consumer. You start going, some people don't want to go in the stores. Some people don't mind going to the stores as long as the precautions are in place. But the grocery pickup channel has really just taken off way more than I think people were expecting to happen. In some cases, it's accelerated the process significantly. So all these new changes and these new trends, these new sharper marketing habits are going to dictate a new landscape coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the big things that the experts are saying right now is that online shopping tendencies will have been accelerated by about 5 years. So Gordon showed a chart earlier where they had predicted in 2025, 50% of this being online shopping. What experts are saying now is whatever would have happened in 2025 is going to happen now, coming right out of this. Because so many more people have now gotten used to or accustomed to or changed their buying habits to online, whether that's shipped to home or whether that's pick up today or whether that's grocery pickup where they're going to the store and having it put in their car. They do expect in-store traffic to see some significant spikes once we get through the COVID-19 pandemic, just because people want to get back out and into the stores, and then expect the normalized number to be lower than it was pre-COVID. So what are the retailers doing now? With all of the restrictions and all of the changes and all of the online shopping, one thing that they're actually trying to do is encourage you to buy in store. They want you in the stores. They want you to continue to walk the aisles where you can. They want you to make decisions. Think about the impact it's had positively for a lot of vendors, paper goods, water, meat, health products, all just sales have exploded and you're trying to keep up with the demand. But now think about the impulse buying categories, the clothing categories, the non-high volume, high turn categories. Walmart still wants you to get in there and shop where you can and buy those products. Whether that's online, whether it's in store, they prefer it in store because you don't impulse buy online as much as you do in store, especially if you have children like I do. So Walmart, Target, other retailers, they're all preparing for what this new landscape is going to look like coming out of this pandemic. What are the real numbers? What's really going to happen? Where are my numbers going to fall? Where's the data going to sit? What are my percentages going to look like? One of the highest growing categories that's happened out of this is hair coloring. And you don't really think about hair coloring. It's not an essential product, but you can't go to a salon or to a barber. So you have to do things that you would do professionally yourself. So hair coloring is gigantic right now. What does that mean for hair coloring coming out of this? Do people get good enough at it to where they want to just continue to do it themselves and they don't want to go spend $80 or $100 to get their hair colored somewhere professionally? I don't know. That's all the questions that are being asked and considered, not just from the CPG side, but from the retailer side. How can we work together as CPGs and retailers to make sure that we have a combined understanding of what this looks like? Understanding is going to be key. Data is going to be key. Walmart has not had a great track record of releasing or making available or easily accessible the grocery pickup data. Very difficult to get to. When you can get to it, it's one store, one item at a time. That's going to have to change, and they know it, which is good news for the CPG world. You're going to get visibility to data that you didn't have before. It's going to be readily available. It's going to be readily provided, and they're going to expect insights and action to be taken from that data. And that's what they're working on now, is how do we build the infrastructure and get that data ready so that when it gets out to the CPG and the customer world, we can make more informed decisions to continue to understand what this new world is going to look like and how it's going to shape the buying patterns in the next 5 years, now that we've accelerated it so much. So what's that mean for customers that use RSI today? For Target, brick and mortar sales, online sales available, same for Walmart. Online sales by channel, online inventory available at Target today, and Walmart and our retail intelligence, retail visibility that's not available currently. And then item level, store level, day level is all available at Walmart and Target. So resources are there, tools are there. In some cases at Target, all the data is already there. We just have to figure out now how we work together with the retailer and the CPGs to really drive value and to continue to understand growth in the curve and where that curve flattens out and where the new normal is going to be. All right. That's all I had for today. Questions?
Well, this is a perfect opportunity to throw in another poll. So as a result of COVID-19, have you personally changed to online or at store pickup? So yes, online only, yes, online and store pickup, yes, store pickup only, or no, I still go to the store.
And while that's calculating, I just wanted to make a comment. I know we are running a little short on time here, but we're still going to have John go through Walgreens and then do a summary wrap-up. If some of you have to drop, you will get a link to this webinar if you wanted to go back in and watch the end of it. But we are going to continue on so we can make sure we round this out with all our findings and insights at the end. So just wanted to share that with everyone. Go ahead, Lori.
Okay, perfect. I will now share the results. So it looks like 47% of people are still going out to stores. Alrighty.
Well,
Walmart would be happy to hear that, right, Mark?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all retailers are. That's what they want. They want you to continue to go to the store. But they also want the growth on the e-commerce channel. It's a big opportunity for them. It is their highest growth category or channel, really historic in the last couple of years. So it's interesting how this will play out.
Okay. Oh, there's a question. Let's see what we've got. Can you confirm, can you see this, Mark? Can you confirm the OG 1/3 fact was Walmart specific?
It was not Walmart specific. That was industry wide. So the third of all shoppers, grocery shoppers, started purchasing online within that week. So that was taken from a Business Today CNN article where they were interviewing the different retailer markets, including Ahold, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Costco, and a few others. And that was the percentages that came out of that interview. Good question.
Anything else specific to Walmart and Target that you'd like to ask? Anyone?
No worries.
I think we're good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Over to John Hobenreiser for Walgreens.
Okay, hello everybody. And yep, I can neither share my video either. So let me start. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about Walgreens and the drug channel and the e-commerce activities that are going on there associated with COVID-19. Before we start, a little bit about my background. I had a career at Kraft for over 20 years in the business systems and supply chain area. Had a wonderful experience across a number of businesses there. I spent 3 years at Nielsen, and I've been at RSI for about 6. I live in Chicago, and for the last 2 years, I've been dedicated support to the Walgreens supplier community. So happy to be here, and let's talk through Walgreens. So to let you know, on the Walgreens side, Walgreens has done a lot of communication on their website. When you go out and look, they do put the coronavirus first. And one of the things that obviously goes without saying, their priority is obviously to leverage their broad community footprint. They call it the 9,000 stores. They have made some changes, and I will talk through about how consumers can get product from Walgreens. But, you know, again, their focus is really on the OTC and health and wellness products, and most specifically the pharmaceuticals, and making sure that consumers get their pharmacy items on time and complete. This information was taken from their fiscal second quarter results, which were just posted last week. And as you can imagine, first and foremost is making sure that those 9,000 locations remain open and they're safe and they have access to the consumers, and the consumers can get the products as they need them. The critical products in the pharmacy are their number one priority, and I think you're going to see that with some other commentary that comes on about consumers wanting to come in and get their pharmacy orders filled. But there were a couple of interesting new comments in last week's communication, and it goes to the third checkpoint here around they've instituted a drive-through capability where consumers can actually go online from their site and order selective health and cleaning products and actually drive up to the drive-through and pick up those products. And so they don't have to go into the store, and it's a touchless transaction. The fourth checkpoint on this slide talks about the expansion of an on-demand delivery service through Postmates that now can go to 7,000 stores on Walgreens stores to basically get on-demand immediate delivery. And they're touting that in most urban community areas, that would be between 30 minutes and 2 hours to get that product. So they have come out with these other access methods to get product. And they both are featured prominently on their website and on their e-commerce site. Now, what's Walgreens seeing, and then complementary to that, what is RSI seeing within the information? And the top part of the slide is from the financial results that Walgreens did see the surge in the beginning, first 2 weeks of March, where consumers were accelerating their prescriptions, trying to get 90-day subscriptions filled because they knew what was coming. They, like the other channels, they had a strong initial march on store sales, concentrated in the OTC, general merchandising, and grocery. Yet the beauty and the discretionary categories did not perform as well, and we saw that as well. Post the surge, once the quarantine zone started, demand did fall off. And on the bottom here, I'm showing a chart of the OTC category, but it does look like in the last 2 weeks that it has moderated, and consumers are still making their way to the Walgreens stores. Getting directly into the Walgreens e-commerce system, what you're struck with right off the bat is a warning message saying that, you can, unfortunately, due to the high volume, you can expect delays. This is not just a Walgreens issue. If you go out and look at the other drug channel e-commerce sites, you have the exact same message, very similar message, may not be exact, that those delays you're going to have in getting product shipped direct to your store. Those delays really come in really three flavors. One is obviously product prioritization. With the surge, everybody depleted a lot of critical products inventory, and so the retailers are having to figure out how to get that product back in stores first. I believe the e-commerce stores are going to take a back seat after the stores have to get filled first before the e-commerce will. Then there has been the out of stocks and also the transportation availability from these e-commerce sites. In the Walgreens space, they're taking the e-commerce out of a central warehouse in Illinois. And so I think transportation availability has been a challenge there as well. From what we're seeing on the RSI side, the bottom chart, I know it's difficult to read, but hopefully you can see the line. And the line is, this is the vitamins category, the largest category at Walgreens in the e-commerce space. And it had a surge, as you can see in the middle of the graph, but since then it's really dropped off and it's actually tracking over 50% below last year. So, and that is due to a lot of the buying of the immune vitamins and vitamins C and D. When you look at it from the tools that RSI provides, the top graph shows that vitamin category on a weekly basis, and you can actually see the surge that happened in the beginning of March and in the in-store, and that volume has moderated back to what is typical of the weeks in the past. So that business is continuing at its current pace. If you look at the bottom chart, that's the Walgreens e-commerce weekly vitamin tracker, and you can clearly see that the vitamin side of the category business and e-commerce has dropped off significantly due to lack of product to be able to ship out of the e-commerce side. So in summary, looking at the brick and mortar versus e-commerce at Walgreens, first and foremost, you know that Walgreens is going to focus on clean and safe stores so that consumers can come in and buy it. They are focused on the health and the prescription side. That's their core businesses, and they want to make sure those products are available. But what I think is very interesting and what Walgreens has come about with is offering what I call the convenience and the immediacy. On the left-hand side, you have the convenience that consumers can drive up, use the pharmacy drive-through windows to purchase select items straight from the store without getting out of the store and contacting people to get that stuff. And then getting fast and delivered the Postmates on demand, that if you need something immediately, that capability is there, and it's linked to the Walgreens e-commerce. And then finally, we believe that for the next month or so, you can still expect those extended delays if you're going through the e-commerce site as they restock and get the supply chains back in order. So that's what we see at Walgreens. I will open it up to questions and pass it back to Gordon for summary.
John.
Perfect. And while we're waiting for questions, I'll just launch the very last poll, which is based on your experience to date. Do you think you will continue the new way of shopping after COVID-19? Yes, it's a lot more convenient. No, I like to browse, or not sure. Again, if you have any questions now, you can put them in the question and answer, or you can raise your hand and you can ask the question live. Otherwise, we have Gordon that will be up wrapping this up.
Okay.
Perfect. So based on that, it looks like most people still like to browse, so that's good.
Okay, so just to finish as we're tight with time, I suppose coming out of today, I could say from a global perspective, I think we said before, online will accelerate out of this. It'll be varying levels across different retailers, across different countries, but there will be an increase as more and more shoppers, new shoppers, would have had to shop online pre the build up to COVID lockdown. We talked about retailers. They're going to absolutely ramp up their investments. And when I talk about online could be you order it online and go and collect it in store. That is still an online and e-commerce order. And then in terms of making this part of the everyday mindset, I think every business has got e-commerce within their business in terms of teams set up against this. But coming out of this, I see probably even more of an acceleration and an integration into the everyday mindset. I know some retailers had separate online teams before versus their traditional buying teams. They will merge. So that's where we see things going in the future post this, and we'll be sticking close to it. And the good news is we've been trying to stay ahead of the curve, and coming very soon there'll be a number of different products and solutions coming to market to help businesses analyse the impact of e-commerce and omnichannel from a basic level to a more advanced level. And if you're interested in hearing more, please contact your RSI contact. We'll be more than welcome to pick up with you. So thanks for listening today.
Thank you, Gordon. I just want to thank all our panelists for bringing all this information to share with all of you. I hope it's been helpful. It's given you a little bit more information than you had before we started. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we're here every Thursday bringing information and insights to you. So feel free to join these webinars. And we will be sending some information that will give you a link to the video in case you want to share this with someone else, as well as the presentation deck, because I think we have some really good information here that some of you might want to share within your organizations. So thank you and stay safe. Have a great Easter.